Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to talk about one of the most influential and richest person in the planet, and his name is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the founder of Tesla and SpaceX. He's commonly known for these two companies. So let us know who Elon Musk is more. Elon Musk is an African-born American entrepreneur. He is also the world richest person, as I've said earlier, and he has an Asperger's syndrome. So in the next slide, we'll see the symptoms of an Asperger's syndrome. So as you can see in the presentation, um, people with high functioning autism or Asperger's syndrome has a difficulty with socialization and interaction. Oh, you may say that this is not true for Elon Musk because he is a public speaker and he have been into interviews, but he said that communication and interaction is one of the skill that he is developing because he is not really into it, but because of circumstances, he practiced socialization and interaction. Then they're also hypersensitive with sensory assaults, and they are extremely focused on specific topic of interest. They have difficulty changes in routine, have challenges with empathy, and lastly, engaging in stereotypes like repetitive behavior. So Elon Musk has this syndrome. So we can fully understand how um, he became brilliant, and I believe that this is one factor affecting the um, the brilliance of Elon Musk. Okay, let us know the success or success journey of Elon Musk. At the age 12, Elon Musk created and sold a video game to a magazine. The space fighting game called Blaster was sold to PC and Office Technology magazine for $500. Musk also worked at a gaming startup called Rocket Science. So at a very young age, we can see Elon Musk is special. He is unlike other kids because he's already a inventor and creator at the age of 12. And we can see his future as an entrepreneur, really. So next slide. So this is one of the highlights of his journey, PayPal or XCOM. So basically, this is where Musk made his fortune. Founded in 1999, PayPal then acquired by eBay for 1.5 billion, of which 165 million was given to Musk in stocks. So although he sell or sold PayPal, but 165 million of PayPal's worth is still Elon Musk's. Okay, next slide, please. And then in 2002, Musk founded Space Exploration Technologies, better known as SpaceX. Musk was convinced that humanity's survival depended on its ability to become a multiplanetary species. But current rocket launching technologies were too expensive. This he accomplished with the launch of Falcon 1 in 2006 and Falcon 9 in 2010 and Falcon Heavy in 2018. So basically, what motivates Elon Musk in building or or founding an exploration um, company is two things. Number one, it's the humanity survival. He believed that it is dependent on its ability to become a multiplanetary species. And then, um, and number two, um, the cost of flying or sending a space rocket in Mars on Mars is very expensive. So later on, we will see how he cut down the cost of flying a rocket into um, in space. So we can see here in Falcon Heavy that could carry a massive amount of 53,000 kilograms into orbit, twice as heavy as its closest competitor at nearly one-third the cost. So basically, it is much cheaper than its competitor's rocket. Next slide. And then because of lack of funding, eventually Musk had to invest his own money into the development of SpaceX rockets. Currently, the company has $1.6 billion contract with NASA for resupply missions and eventually ferrying people in from the International Space Station. So he um, he asked for help eh, in order for the space company to proceed with its production or its development. So next slide. Thanks to the developments in SpaceX, Musk has managed to reduce the cost of traveling to space station by up to 90%. What then cost 1 billion per mission now costs 60 million. So basically, we can see how Elon Musk changed the game of sending rockets on the outer space. So we can see here that there's a massive reduction of the amount due to the development and research that was made by Elon Musk. Next slide. So let us know further who Elon Musk is. So Elon Musk is a major funder in Tesla Motors, now called Tesla. Largely uninterested in electric vehicles, Tesla introduced the Roadster, a car with a futuristic look and a battery with a range of 394 kilometer on a single charge. So, in an interview, Musk is asked if they are interested in creating motorcycles, but he said that because he have been into a motorcycle accident, that's why he said that they will not produce motors or motorcycles, but um, Tesla is a very futuristic car, and based on the TikTok videos that I've seen, it really has some great features, and it is also eco-friendly because it is powered by electricity. Okay, it reduced the greenhouse gases and pollution, and actually it saves much money than having your car fueled. So that's the Tesla. Next slide. And then we're going to talk about sending rockets on the surface of Mars. So basically, I entitled this "Inhabiting a World Beyond Our Own." So we have a short introduction of who Elon Musk is, and here we can see how is it how it is really difficult to land um, a rover or a space rocket in on the surface of Mars. So next slide. So Mars, the atmosphere of Mars is mostly carbon dioxide and extremely thin, about 100 times less dense than Earth's, with no breathable oxygen. There's no water on the surface to drink either. The land is freezing with no protection from sun radiation or passing dust storms. The key to survival will be technology, research, and testing. So, to summarize this report, actually, um, they are trying to land a rover on the surface of Mars. That rover um, would research, would get samples from the land, and that samples will lead or will enable astronauts to find or see if they can inhabit Mars. So as we can see, the atmosphere of Mars is not really friendly. So we have to um, be really dependent on technology in order for us to survive. So, next slide. In the next slide, we have their plan of sending a rocket in on the surface of Mars. Every landing on Mars offers a learning opportunity, of course, with Mars 2020 that includes how the spacecraft heat shield and parachute platform in the planet perform in the planet's atmosphere and how well its radar can sense the approaching surface. Sensors in the spacecraft's aeroshell, the capsule that encloses the rover, will study how heats up and perform during atmospheric entry. This Mars entry descent, the landing instrumentation 2 or MED-LI2 sensor could help engineers improve their landing design for big payloads like astronaut equipment and habitats. So, on the next slide, we can see the picture of how they are planning to send or to land a rover on the surface of Mars. Can we go in the next slide, please? There. So, as you can see in the video, in the picture, as soon as the land, the the rover get past the atmosphere of Mars, it would immediately um would immediately the parachute will immediately puff up, and then there would the device itself or the rover has sensors in order for them to recognize the atmosphere um temperature. So when the time comes when it is already cool, the heating shield will um, will detract from the rover. And then there's a device that would help the rover land on its target. So next slide. So there. So before this, the the rover has a lot of sensors in order for it to detect like pressure, heat, and distance and things like that. So this technology are already present to us. Actually, it is being used in mostly used in the manufacturing industry where there is where there are conditions that are not preferable for men, or it is hazardous for men to be in. And then number one, the first thing that they have to address is the issue on how they can have a steady supply of oxygen, which would be costly to transfer from Earth in the necessary volumes. A cube-shaped device called Mars Oxygen in situ resource utilization experiment or MOXIE sorry, is exploring a space-saving alternative that converts carbon dioxide, which constitutes 96% of Martian atmosphere, to oxygen. Although MOXIE is a small-scale demonstration, the hope is that its technology could evolve into bigger and more efficient oxygen generators in the future. Those would allow astronauts to create their own breathable air and would provide oxygen to burn rocket fuel needed to return humans to Earth. So basically, there are two function of MOXIE. Number one, it is to test how much carbon dioxide they can um, they can use to create oxygen, and number two, uh, to have oxygen fueled the launching of the rockets back to Earth. And then number two, water. Satellites orbiting the red planet regularly peek underground using radar. But Mars 2020 is carrying a ground-penetrating radar called Radar Imager for Mars subsurface experiment. So basically, there would be a device that would detect water underground. So if ever that they would see um, a water on the surface underneath or underground, they would have to dig for it and start. Um, so that's the purpose of RIMFAX. Then next, then lastly, we have spacesuits. Dust and radiation are part of every Martian weather forecast. Dust blow everywhere, sticking to spacecraft and covering solar panels. And because the planet doesn't have magnetic field, and as Earth does, the sun's radiation bats the Martian surface. So it is really hot in the Martian surface. Not only it is hot, it is hazardous for the skin. The orbits of Earth and Mars align best for interplanetary travel every 2 years, meaning the first astronauts on the red planet are likely to endure long exposures to radiation. Next. Then, to help engineers design spacesuit to shield astronauts from elements, we have the scanning habitable environment with Raman and luminescence for organics and chemicals. So that's what we call Sherlock. So basically, Sherlock would create or design a spacesuit that would suit the atmospheric condition of Mars or the climate in Mars. So they would develop this spacesuit in order for astronauts and um, people to survive in the Martian atmosphere. So next slide. Okay. So also we have the MEDA, the suite of sensors called Mars Environmental Dynamics Analyzer is the next step in kind of weather science curiosity collects. So I don't know how will they construct the spacesuit, but basically they would have to attach other devices into it for in order for it to be sustainable and have oxygen inside. Next slide. So this is the picture of the rover. So this is the rover that they would land on February 18, 2021. So that's their target date. And then as I've said earlier, the technologies are attached into the rover. So it would detect it would enable future research on the land. Okay. So as I close in this report, I just want to share some thoughts of mine regarding this one. So actually, as I've said earlier, on February 18, 2021, NASA is planning to land a rover on the surface of Mars. Okay, this rover is called Perseverance. Will be the first step of searching life and space travel. The rover, as described, is composed of, as I've said earlier, instruments that are essential in the quest of getting samples to be tested. As I think of actually, as I think of this, I can't help but to be amazed by how human knowledge increase and how technology evolves and how it enables men to search a world beyond our own. So it is really just fascinating to see. So um it is really it excites me actually to um to know what more can technology do for the benefit of humanity. But I am puzzled with the idea that they are willing to spend billions of dollars for a chance to start inhabiting Mars, where they would actually start building from scratch, where actually we are living in the most beautiful planet. And if you are going to think about it, there are things that we don't work for. And it is I just think that it is really a tedious task for everyone to start inhabiting a rock and start building cities in there. Actually, in their own admission, scientists said that it would be impossible for us to inhabit the land without the help of technology. But we will see how far will technology take us even with the help of technology. So And even with actually the help of technology, I don't think it would be sustainable. So there are comforts that would be taken from us that we are actually enjoying here on earth. And for example, right, on Mars we are going, as I've said earlier, as we've discussed, we're going to wear a spacesuit. Where here, it is irritating for us to wear face mask and face shield. So um, just come to think of the comfort that we have here on Earth and how everything comes together to benefit us. I'm just thinking of the money that they are going to spend, or the money that will be spent. It could have been used to help the poor, save the earth from deteriorating, or fund institutions that supports life and many more. But I am positive, no. I believe God will use this exploration to to try to help to reveal himself to these scientists or these people, that indeed there is really none like the Lord, or there is really nothing, there is really no one that can understand or fathom what he has done in this world. So basically, he's in control of everything. I don't know if they are escaping the fury of the Lord um, when the judgment end. But basically, if Christianity is really true, uh, the judgment will soon to come. So there you go. So hopefully you've learned from this report. So we've discussed about Elon Musk and um, their um, their desire to inhabit a land that our own. So maybe he is also making name for himself. No, it is really a great um, honor to be the first person um, to inhabit a land beyond our own. But indeed, if we are going to look around us, we are going to see the beauty of um, creation and how beautiful God is. So that would be everything. Thank you so much, and God bless.